What if one of the most catastrophic events in human history, World War II, never happened? How would our world look today? Would we live in a utopia, or face even greater challenges? In today's video, we're diving into alternate history to explore what might have been if World War II had never taken place. Before we rewrite history, let's rewind the clock to the early 20th century. Picture this: Europe, still reeling from the devastating aftermath of World War I. The Treaty of Versailles, intended to bring peace, instead sowed the seeds of resentment and instability. Germany, once a mighty empire, found itself humiliated, stripped of its territories, burdened with crippling reparations, and blamed for the war's carnage. The German people, already suffering, were grappling with economic turmoil, hyperinflation, and political unrest. It was a powder keg primed to explode. And then, the Great Depression hit. This global crisis further fueled the rise of extremist ideologies, playing right into the hands of charismatic but dangerous leaders. In Germany, a disgruntled war veteran named Adolf Hitler, spewing hateful rhetoric and promising to restore Germany's lost glory, saw an opportunity. His Nazi party, capitalizing on the widespread discontent, rose to prominence with alarming speed. Meanwhile, in Italy, Benito Mussolini, another charismatic strongman, had already seized power, establishing a fascist regime that glorified militarism and national unity. The world was on edge, teetering on the precipice of another global conflict. Okay folks, buckle up because we're about to take a wild ride through the wormhole of alternate history, a world where World War II never happened. First off, without World War II, Europe's geopolitical landscape would look radically different. The war, as destructive as it was, redrew the map of Europe, leading to the formation of new nations and the decline of old empires. Without that conflict, the balance of power would have remained largely unchanged. The British Empire, though already showing signs of decline, might have held on to its colonies for longer, delaying the wave of decolonization that swept the globe after the war. The Soviet Union, without its heroic stand against Nazi Germany, might not have commanded the same level of respect and influence on the world stage. The United States, spared the economic boom that came with supplying war-torn Europe, might have remained more isolationist, less eager to project its power across the globe. The Cold War, that decades-long ideological struggle between the capitalist West and the communist East, might never have materialized, reshaping the entire global order. Without the unifying threat of Nazi Germany, other tensions might have escalated, leading to regional conflicts or even a different kind of global conflagration. The ideologies of fascism and communism, already gaining ground in the 1930s, might have continued to spread, leading to a very different kind of ideological struggle. The technological advancements that we often attribute to the necessities of war, radar, jet engines, computers, even the space race, might have developed at a slower pace. The global push for human rights, spurred in part by the horrors of the Holocaust, might have been delayed or taken a different form. So while it's tempting to imagine a world without the devastation of World War II as inherently better, the truth is far more complex. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the darkest chapter of the 20th century, the Holocaust. The systematic state-sponsored genocide of 6 million Jews by Nazi Germany remains one of the most horrific crimes against humanity ever committed. The Holocaust was a product of a specific set of historical circumstances, fueled by Nazi ideology, anti-Semitism, and a totalitarian regime that saw Jews as an existential threat. Without World War II, and the global revulsion at the horrors of the Holocaust, would the world have reckoned with the dangers of racial hatred and state-sponsored violence? Would the international community have come together to establish institutions like the United Nations and codify human rights as a fundamental principle of international law? The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, adopted in 1948 in the aftermath of World War II, stands as a testament to the world's commitment to preventing atrocities like the Holocaust from ever happening again. But remember, documents and declarations, as powerful as they can be, are just pieces of paper. The real work, the constant vigilance required to uphold human rights and combat injustice, falls on us. The fight for human rights is an ongoing struggle, one that requires constant effort and vigilance. Alright, let's turn our attention to the economic landscape of a world where World War II never ravaged the globe. Without World War II, the United States, which emerged from the war as a global superpower, might have remained a largely isolationist nation, its economy less dominant on the world stage. The war effort spurred technological innovation, industrial production, and job creation, propelling the US into a position of economic dominance that shaped the post-war order. Europe, without the massive task of rebuilding after the war, might have retained its economic dominance, though likely still grappling with the social and political divisions that fueled the rise of extremism in the 1930s. The European Union, that grand experiment in regional integration, might never have come into being, leaving Europe more fragmented and potentially more vulnerable to conflict. The Soviet Union, without its costly victory over Nazi Germany, might not have commanded the same level of influence in Eastern Europe, potentially altering the course of the Cold War or even preventing it altogether. The decolonization movement, which gained momentum after World War II as European powers, weakened by the war, were forced to relinquish their colonies, might have unfolded more slowly or taken a different path. The developing world, freed from the shackles of colonialism, might have experienced a different trajectory, potentially leading to new economic powerhouses emerging on the global stage. The post-war economic order, characterized by institutions like the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, designed to promote stability and cooperation, might have looked very different or never materialized. The Bretton Woods system, which pegged currencies to the US dollar, might not have come to be, potentially leading to a more volatile and unpredictable global financial system. So, in a world untouched by World War II, the economic landscape would be vastly different. Now I know what you're thinking, folks. Wouldn't a world without the unimaginable horrors of World War II be inherently better? And it's a tempting thought, isn't it? But history, much like the universe itself, is rarely so neat and tidy. It's a messy, complex tapestry woven from countless threads of cause and effect. On the one hand, consider the human cost of war. World War II claimed an estimated 70 to 85 million lives, leaving an unimaginable void in families and communities around the globe. The psychological scars of war, the trauma inflicted on soldiers and civilians alike, continued to reverberate long after the guns fell silent. Think of the technological advancements spurred by the necessities of war. Radar, jet engines, computers, antibiotics. These innovations, while born out of the urgency of conflict, went on to revolutionize civilian life, improving healthcare, communication, transportation, and countless other aspects of our world. And what about the geopolitical landscape? World War II led to the decline of colonialism, the rise of new superpowers, and the creation of international institutions like the United Nations, designed to prevent future conflicts and foster global cooperation. But let's not sugarcoat it, folks. War, even when fought for seemingly noble goals, exacts a heavy toll. So the question remains, would a world without World War II be a better world? It's a question without easy answers. Well, folks, we've journeyed through the annals of history, explored the intricate web of cause and effect, and pondered the profound implications of a world untouched by the global conflict of World War II. But now it's your turn to step into the role of the historian, the futurist, the cosmic explorer of what if. Imagine a world where the seeds of war never took root, where the global conflict that reshaped the 20th century never came to pass. What would a world without World War II look like to you? Would it be a world of lasting peace and prosperity, or would other conflicts, perhaps even more devastating, have emerged in its absence? Would the technological marvels we often attribute to the necessities of war have come about, or would our world be a vastly different place, perhaps frozen in a technological time capsule of the 1930s? These are questions without easy answers, folks, but they're questions worth pondering. So, I encourage you to fire up those imaginations, engage those critical thinking skills, and share your thoughts in the comments below. History is full of what-ifs, but one thing remains true. Every event, no matter how tragic, has shaped the world we live in today. Thank you for joining me on this journey into alternate history. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into the moments that shaped our world. See you in the next video.